My name is Reagan Binning, and today I will be discussing with everyone about Italy's customs, cultures, and values. Now, how would you like it if Obama owned many of the TV channels you watch? Well, in Italy, the Prime Minister runs a majority of them. And everyone has their superstitions, but in Italy, they're so strong that sometimes they don't even realize their superstitious actions. For example, they have the Cappella Suletta, which means hat on a bed. This indicates that when the priests were visiting the dying, once the person had passed on, they would take their hat and set it on the bed frame. Now, Italians don't want to be mistaken for someone that's died in their sleep, so they won't even let their hat near the bed at all. And how many of you have traveled to Italy? Well, me either, and we're in the same boat. I've always wanted to go, but some of us don't have the time or the privilege to do so. Now, with TV and movies constantly coming out, always at our fingertips, they give us a hint of what other cultures are like. So we're not always as motivated to do research on our own. I think it's very important that we learn about another country's customs and culture and their values, just because you never know what you may stumble upon that could be fascinating, and if you ever do travel there, you'll know what's accepted and what's unwelcome. Today, I'll be talking with you about Italy, what they value, their customs, and what's part of their culture. Now, no matter where you travel, whether it's just out of state, you notice a certain etiquette about the people that may be different from your hometown. Now, Italy has an etiquette of their own. They have different customs when it comes to socializing, greeting, and eating. When socializing, you always want to maintain eye contact. They consider it extremely rude if you look away or look down at the ground. It's a sign of respect. When greeting, if you're close to that family member or friend, you'll give them a kiss on the cheek. Now, if you're a stranger they're meeting for the first time, they'll still give you a warm greeting, but they won't call you by your first name unless you specifically ask to do so. It's also a sign of respect. When you're eating at a restaurant, whether you've been there 100 times or it's your first time, you should never yell at the waiter across the room. No matter how much of a hurry you're in, you never yell across the room to get the waiter's attention. It's considered extremely rude. And you should always be asked to sit at the table before inviting yourself to sit down, even if you're very close with that family. Lastly, whenever they eat pasta or any of that sort, you should never cut it with a knife. It's extremely disrespectful to the chef. You always want to use your fork or twirl it, anything like that, but never use a knife. Sometimes a knife won't even be offered at the table. Now, every country has its own celebrations. In America, we have Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Surprisingly enough, Italy has the same of their own, but they do it in a way that makes it unique and that they can call it their own. In Christmas, they get everyone involved. Every city, every small town has their own part to play. Buon Natale is Italy's Christmas. It's also a time that they can celebrate their flag's colors, which are red, white, and green, which are also the Christmas colors. Christmas originated in Italy, and they continue with past and present traditions that have been brought up through the years. They celebrate their Christmas from December 24th to January 6th, and the children receive their Christmas presents on the 12th day of Christmas from La Befana, which is their version of Santa Claus. On Christmas Eve, while here in America we usually celebrate with turkey, ham, all these meats and desserts, they have a meatless dessert. And in the southern parts, some of them will serve 7 different types of fish. Naples, Italy, has their own nativity scene. It's one of the most well-known decorations all throughout Italy. And because it's so well known, they make it huge for everyone to want to come see, and every part of Italy goes to Naples during that time. Every person, nation, country, they all have their own values. With Italy being centered on food, celebration, and enjoying each other's company, it's no surprise that family is valued as extremely high. For some people, family isn't everything, it's the only thing. There are many locally owned businesses and family-owned businesses, and they rely on their sons and daughters to take over once they pass on. The National Statistics Bureau did a survey, and it stated that 94% of Italian families still do a Sunday lunch as part of their tradition. And They also did another survey that says 90% of moms still keep in touch with their independent children that have grown and created their own families and have started their own business. They keep in touch at least once a week, if not daily. The Italian culture is unique. They have their own customs and their own values. And although they celebrate the same celebrations we do, such as Christmas, they keep it very traditional and warm and family-oriented instead of commercialized. Family is valued and the customs are kept formal, but you will always receive a warm greeting to come to their country and visit whenever you'd like.